Yes, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for a surprising moment. I'm sure everybody has got a copy of the book during the time of the registration. So now I'm just giving a short brief before we do the grand book launching in the day. So it is our immense pleasure to present you Success Mantras and Musings, Edupreneur, Manjula Pooja Shroff, an inspiring book written by Miss Anurita Rathore Jadeja and published by Vitasta Publishing Private Limited, a leading publishing house at Delhi. This book, Success Mantras and Musings, authored by Miss Anurita Rathore Jadeja, who is a senior journalist and media professional from Ahmedabad. The book is on the life journey of Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, MD and CEO Calorex Group, an Edupreneur, President of India awardee, a sports enthusiast, and the person dedicated towards people's conscious living by helping them balance their mental, physical, and spiritual dimensions through her work called Shroffism. You can find her in the website www.shroffis.com. Let's see a video which describes Dr. Manjula Shroff and the book journey. So I request the technical team to please play the AV on the LED first. So ladies and gentlemen, I request all of you to please pay attention on the screen for the moment.
She has her hand in the structuring and strengthening of the young and progressive India. Her entrepreneurial journey began young. She has been a management alumni of Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad and London School of Economics. She is Manjula Pooja Shroff, a visionary educator, an enthusiastic leader, and a motivator to thousands of students and parents.
I believe that day-to-day conversations with your children can beat any hurdle in their path to development and progress. Conversations can act as a measured guidance and provide encouragement to boost their self-esteem. Discipline comes first. Why does the word discipline normally bring images of scolding and shouting to mind? So cultivate a habit. Be more attentive and listen to that inner voice. Shroffism for you, Daily D9, Spiritual.
Thakkar, and I'm currently reading this wonderful, wonderful book, Success Mantras and Musings by Manjula, Pooja, Shroff. This is just not a book, it's an inspiration.
Hello everyone, I'm Samindra Kaur. Success Mantras and Musings is a glimpse into the journey of entrepreneur educator Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff.
Hello, everybody. So, I finally got my hands on this book, and while reading it, I did realize that it's not only the professional life of Dr. Shroff that I read about over here, which we already know about, but also a lot about love that she's talking about and what drives it in her life.
Everyone can have a huge round of applause for this wonderful AV. So yes, let me tell you that Success Mantras and Musings, a true motivation to one and all, depicts how profound faith can surpass monumental challenges, how belief in self, innate ability to trust one's instinct and staying focused shapes destiny, and how strong intentions and conviction of an individual molds dreams into paths of success. So we bring to you today the Bhubaneswar city launch of this book. Already speaking about the journey of this book, you have already seen that it has toured across 13 cities, including Delhi, New York, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, Jaipur, Udaipur, Goa, Ahmedabad, Kochi, Chandigarh, and of course Panchkula. And now we are proudly and immensely pleased to present you this book to you right here, right now. And to do the honor, of course, I would like to welcome Mr. Chandan Anand. Along with him, I would also like to welcome Mr. Anant Krishnan. And of course, the beautiful lady herself, Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff. तीनों के लिए जोरदार ताली हो जाए. सिर्फ यही नहीं, साथ ही साथ मैं चाहूँगी कि डॉक्टर अमिताभ दत्ता सर भी हम लोगों को ज्वाइन करें, और साथ ही साथ आरती द्विवेदी मैम. Please come and join us on the stage. So now I request Anand sir to please do the honor and unveil this wonderful piece of creation in front of everybody. और साथ ही साथ मैं नवीन सर एंड ऑफ कोर्स पार्थ शारुती सर को भी स्टेज पे बुलाना चाहूँगी टू जॉइन दिस वंडरफुल ओकेशन. कैन आई हैव नवीन सर एंड पार्थ शारुती सर एज वेल ऑन द स्टेज? So please hand over one copy to each person, and we will be doing a countdown, and with the countdown we will unveil the book. Alright, so on the count of 3, 2 and 1, everybody एक बार जोरदार ताली हो जाए for this wonderful, wonderful launching of this masterpiece by Anurita Rathod Jadeja, Success Mantras and Music. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. So now I request to please take your seats back. All right, thank you so much, sir and ma'am. And let me just inform you that she is available here, as you can see. So if you want to get your book signed from her, she is absolutely available. So yes, everyone, so now we are all set for a special chat show right here, right now, an interview session which will be conducted between Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, and it will be done by the founder, CEO and group editor of ArdorComm Media Group, Mr. Chandan Anand himself. So they have already joined the dais, and this is called the Fireside chat session where they will be interviewing, and right after this she will be available to sign your books.
So here we are. I was actually waiting for this lovely session when I'll get an opportunity. It's truly an honor, ma'am, and with huge respect. Pardon me if I get wrong in any of the questions being asking you. So now we start with the formal fireside chat round. You can call this as Without Coffee with Chandan. So, ma'am, here goes the first question to you. You have had many ups and downs in life. a book is all about lot of information of a person in public domain. What was your first reaction when the idea was first shared with you? What were your inhibitions?
So thank you first for giving us this opportunity, Chandan, to do a book launch in the city of Calcutta. I've already mentioned that this is a city which is very close to my heart. I almost grew up here as part of my existence in Bhubaneswar. You're right that being written about is not very easy. And this was never really on my cards. If I look at my bucket list, मुझे ये करना है मरने से पहले, ऐसा कभी कहीं मैंने नहीं लिखा था that I should write a book or be written about. So when this friend of mine, Anurita, who's a very seasoned journalist, threw this idea saying, why don't we do a book on your life? I was like, really? You know how it first grabbed me? It's like a lifetime achievement award. आप जब किसी को लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड देते हैं उसका ये मतलब हुआ दैट यू आर डन, आपके काम वाम सब खत्म, हम आपको अभी रिकग्नाइज कर रहे हैं, अब जाके तीर्थ यात्रा कर सकते हैं. मैंने हमेशा से तीर्थ किया है वैसे बचपन से. सो आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट नो, इट्स नॉट टाइम फॉर एनीबडी टू राइट अबाउट मी. दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट थॉट. माय सेकंड थॉट वाज, am I ready to actually reveal a lot of vulnerable moments of my life? That was the biggest thing that I really have to overcome, because the book has a lot of vulnerability in it, which as a so-called successful entrepreneur, I had masked. So that was really something that I had to deal with.
Great, ma'am. How do you connect this book to mental, physical, and social dimensions that you work on for people?
देखिए, your life makes you. What you are as a child is who you are as an adult. And in the very first chapter, there is a quote that I really believe in. It says that if the purpose of life is to understand death, then I've had the unfair advantage of understanding death at a very early age. By the time I was in my early 20s, I had lost every responsible adult in my life. My mother, my father, my 3 buas, my chacha who I was very, very attached to, my nani who almost adopted us because my mother used to be not very well, and I have a friend from my college days, Bipasha, who has held my hand through that period, and she knows that by the time I was in my early 20s, I had lost everybody. Somewhere along the way, I not only grew up, I also understood death. And I thought that if the purpose of life, if you're born, you will die. And in between, you have to understand life. That is the purpose why we are born. And if I've understood it early in life, I owe it to myself to spread that understanding. And that's how Shroff is, and that's why mental, physical, and spiritual.
Lovely, ma'am. Ma'am, being from a conservative background of a royal family where you have grown up from a princess to a Maharani, what kind of challenges did you face to establish yourself in education world?
You know, it's a very celebrated term to be called a princess. To be born in a palace with royal lineage, I genuinely believe is very good karma. If you've done good karma in the past, you know, you'll be called a princess and you'll be born in a royal blue blood, jisko hum kehte hain. But it ends there. You know, everybody is different. If I was the kind of person who was very happy to look on, you know, honorable, dignified, wear a ghungat and sit at home, it was the ideal setting for me. But you see who I am. I'm a person who's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who gets their hands dirty. My innate ability is to be a leader. My innate ability is to contribute. My innate ability is to act. To me, being a princess was, and it's mentioned in the book, like being in a golden cage. To me, growing up with so many restrictions that there are for women was very challenging. Very simple things like having short hair, I could not have. Very simple things like my brother can ride a cycle, I cannot. For many, many years of my life, I have never traveled anywhere alone. And I have grown up looking at my mother living in Parda. I hope you understand what that means. It meant that I would have a similar life. And Parda is not to be looked at it don't look at it as a practical thing. Look at the psychology behind Parda. When somebody is in Parda, it means you're not equal status. It means you can't go out and do what common people can do. So to me, learning began right there. I unlearned a lot of things before I learned what the world needs to become successful.
Ma'am, when you held the book in your hand for the first time, what were your feelings, emotions? What message would you want to send to the people who read this book?
So when I held the book, I honestly have very mixed feelings. Because first thing I had to combat, apart from the inhibition part, was, कभी जब ऐसे बैठ के अपने बारे में बात करते हो, you feel a sense of self-pompousness. I'm here, the book is here, I'm talking about me. I never planned the book, as you know. This book has done 15 or 14 city releases. ये बिल्कुल planning में नहीं था. But everything has a destiny, and the book has a destiny of its own. It's just my proud privilege that I'm sitting here and my life's journey is being talked about. I genuinely believe that everybody in this audience has a story. I genuinely believe that every woman in this audience has a story. And it's my privilege that my story is written. So I started to understand that stories need to be told. Even my organization thought I was born with a silver spoon. They did not know that I traveled in DTC buses in Delhi and got lost because मुझे नहीं आता था public transport में कैसे travel करते हैं. And Delhi is a very unsafe city. उनको नहीं पता था कि I have lived in a barsati. It was important that even my team knows that I have worked very hard to be who I am today. Stories need to be told. Stories need to be told. If after this has happened and I've gone to cities, so many women have come up to me and said that, you've inspired me, I'm going to write my book. Some people have said that I'm going to at least, all the things जो मैंने दबा के रखे हैं, I will at least tell it to my children. A friend of mine who's a doctor and she's a gynecologist, and she's a gynecologist, she's a very empowered woman. She came up to me and she said that I've always been economically independent, but somewhere in the book made a switch that I became mentally empowered. So a story can tell ways for people to act. If that happens, Chandan, I'm just happy about the book being all over the place.
I mean, so that will definitely happen.
Amen.
Yeah. Since the first launch of this book, Delhi, few months back, a lot has happened. In fact, I myself witnessed the launch of Jaipur, Rajasthan. And again, I have the honors of launching this, I guess, the 14th city. So how does it feel to you?
The book is called Success Mantras. If success is doing it in 14 cities, then it's successful. But I think there's a deeper success. I think that it's giving me a platform to inspire. It's giving me a platform to bring the story of a princess, the traveling of a princess to a commoner. I'm a proud, if there is a word called commoner, I'm a proud entrepreneur. The first book, and I think we mentioned about this, Chandan, the first book written on the life of any princess was on MGD, Maharani Gayatri Devi. She wrote A Princess Recalls, I think. And since then, everybody thinks a princess is supposed to live in a lofty palace. I'm so glad that I'm able to say that we are made of flesh and blood. We have lots of trauma. We have lots of emotional upheavals. We work twice as much because we did not know. See, my forefathers, my father has been the royal prince, crowned prince. मेरे जो forefathers थे, उनको profession नहीं आता था. They never learned how to work. हम तो rulers थे. We used to collect tax. And we used to do welfare for the society. So when the crown, the privy purse was introduced and the crown was taken away, the promise of the government was that privy purse will help our families economically survive. And within few years, privy purse was also withdrawn. Our families did not know how to support themselves. It's not been an easy journey for the royal families and the princely states in India. But nobody tells the stories. It's been very hard.
I can relate to that, ma'am. Any regional language or a vernacular if the book is in a process of?
जी हम लोग गुजरात से हैं तो गुजराती में तो लिखना ज़रूरी था.
Okay.
We had to translate in Gujarat. So we did a translation in Gujarat, and Diya Mirza, you may have seen, launched the book in Gujarat. It was a very good experience. I had never known that किस तरह से translations होते हैं, but I realized that it's a very hard job. It's a very thankless job. आप किसी और का काम करते हैं, you're nameless and faceless, and it's very challenging. As you know, if a book is written in Bengali, how hard it is to translate it into English and get the finer nuances of emotions. So I think translation should be given more credit than it is.
Ma'am, this book is a motivation to one in many, as I have read myself in the previous launch. Any area or from this book would you like to highlight?
I want to highlight parenting. We all work with children, and our first duty is towards children. Whether we are a teacher, educator, edupreneur, or a parent, or just a faculty member, our first religion is human development in children. There is one chapter in the book that talks about 5F as a parenting tool. Family, friends, very, very critical for emotional stability. As we grow up, it's very important that we get financially stable. So the third one is finance. And all of us are working towards making ourselves economically, financially stable. So family, friends, finance. And then fitness. COVID, more than anything, has taught us that if you don't have health, no amount of wealth can buy you good health. So family, friends, finance, fitness, and the last, which is over-encompassing everything, is faith. If you have faith, you are a sorted, balanced individual. So these are the 5 Fs that the book talks about, which I think that not only for children, even as adults, if we just practice 5 Fs, we'll just be very centered.
I would like to take the last question for this fire chat, ma'am. We can witness there are many senior educationists, academicians gathered from the east and the northeast in India. Any message or any expectations do you want to share with them?
In my inaugural talk, I talked about Vedic values. If India is known for anything, it's its ancient knowledge. We as educators have to be ambassadors for Indian education system. It is in our value system that makes for a very strong individual. Why is it that Indian students, wherever they go, they shine? इसलिए नहीं कि हम rote learning कराते हैं, इसलिए कि internally they are strong people. इसलिए कि जो हमारा DNA है, it is from 5,000 centuries of strength. It is not the mental cognition that we give to students, which is why they stand out anywhere. It is the memory that our body and our chromosomes and our DNA carries. And that is the Indian genes. We must never forget that. We must never wait for the Western world to tell us how strong the Indian gene is. We as tutors must always remember that and must feel that pride, infuse that pride amongst our students for being that part of the world that is not only the most ancient part of the world, but the most innovative part of the world. The pride for Indian knowledge systems, if we do not carry that banner, ladies and gentlemen, nobody else will. The responsibility lies in this room. It lies with us. Don't wait for anybody else. Everybody here is a leader. Don't wait for anybody else. Please pick up the threads of Indian knowledge systems and take it to the students. India needs to shine once again, and it will.
Great, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was such a lovely chatting with you. And you have given us so much insight, which is definitely connecting to all age, all creeds, all group of people. Thank you so much for your valuable time today, ma'am.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much.
So you all have the book launch in your delegate kit. If anybody wants to have an autograph and signed by Dr. Pooja Manjula Shroff, you may please go through. Thank you so much. Yeah.